Love it. This is the Culture and Camaraderie podcast, the most thought-provoking, introspective, industrious, creative discussion with my guy Tyler. This is NY Typical from nytypical.net.
It's good. And LAX_ERA
at Suede House Studios. Again, natural settings.
Yeah, we got a bit of a
with the
setup.
vibe.
It's evolving. Well, yeah, you're putting together the process like now, isn't it? It's like Lego. It's like building blocks. That's the way I've started, because we've had a discussion before just about what's going on in my life, you know, like navigating all the multiple things that I'm trying to do as well. It's like has been the biggest difficulty for me, but it's like that. It's that same energy of when you know there's stuff to do. It's always about like remembering why you're doing that thing in the first place, and it's instead of giving the vote to what it is that I'm to the hardship of it all. It's just the energy that you feed into. It's completely energy that you feed into. And yeah, it's been like we've had discussions about it before, and it's just sometimes you just got to do what you got to do, man. Yeah, I've got to crack on with it. Just got to crack on.
Yeah, it's
no choice.
Yeah, like
no choice.
No, like there's obviously something I want to say, but obviously, no. Fuck it, this is my platform. Fuck it. Like, I'm a genius, man. I don't care. Like, it's ridiculous. It's ridiculous. Like, nobody needs to give me my flowers. Like, even though it would be cool, but like, fuck it, bro. It's like, I know exactly what is happening. I know how, and I know the maneuvers we need to take. I've seen it, and like just even having that one conversation that I had yesterday, like it just showed me that, yeah, it said to me that you're doing the right thing.
Because I was thinking about this as well. It's like
made it happen.
You see, like even how you just said that, and you're like, oh, should I say it or should I not? It's funny because I came across this guy who was like, oh yeah, I do consultations where he's just you know you're a consultant, right? But he's just like a consultant for fitness, and just like he's what's it called, like he was like some success coach guy, but he does like fitness as well, right? And it was funny because I was thinking about what a consultant is, like what they actually do. Like it's the same thing. I was like listening to Jocko Willink, his book as well, and like he does sort of stuff with leadership in like businesses and companies. And it's funny because even though, yeah, there's an element of what they're giving you knowledge and an understanding of something, really what they're buying from you as a consultant is your confidence in an area. You know what I mean? They're kind of, and it's the same thing with when someone will listen to or look up to somebody, because that information that you could get it from anywhere. But it's more how that person's doing it that you're trying to emulate. It's the emulation of the way that person's doing it or that way that person's saying it.
I don't know what you mean.
So it's like you can have information, but it's not just about having the specific information that is the be all and end all. Like a lot of the time, like when you're that you might be, because you can get bits of information from anyone is basically what I'm saying, but sometimes it's the way that you're saying it and the way you connect with people and the confidence that you have in yourself is how it sort of transmits, because it's not the information, it's how it's internalized. And the reason I'm saying all that is it kind of feeds into everything we're talking about, how the importance of confidence. And it's kind of what I was trying to say before, of like the energy you're feeding into. It's like everyone wants to be confident. And I think that's why when people get upset when they see other people being confident, because really deep down, you want to be like that, but you don't feel like you can. You know what I mean?
Nah, I don't.
You don't know what I mean, but you.
I'm on the receiving end of that.
But you know what I'm saying.
I've seen
it's
it.
Like you can't. I don't think you would meet anyone who would ever say they wouldn't want to be confident. Like regardless of whether you're an introvert or an extrovert, like no matter what, you want to be confident. Obviously, there's people who are confident in certain things and more than others. But
I don't know anybody more confident than me. That's the problem.
That's the problem. But see, but you know what? Like, it's like, this is what I've started to understand is you need to have this energy. You need to have that energy.
The only reason I'm confident is like because I've executed before, like something nobody wanted to happen.
Yeah, but even before you.
Shit, where's your camera?
Huh?
Just deeped it.
My what?
Your camera.
I don't have a camera.
Well, your tripod on your phone and all of that.
It's broken. It's upstairs.
Oh yeah, sure.
Remember. That's why we're doing that.
Yeah.
Anyway, but what was he saying? Oh yeah, before you was executing consistently and you had the things to show for it, it's like you had to sort of instill that confidence in yourself that I'm going to get this done. It was a different kind of confidence. Like at first it's like, I'm confident I'm going to do this thing, but then it becomes a confidence of I'm going to do this thing to a high standard. Or would you say you wasn't confident when you was first doing it? You were just like,
No, the thought of it was always being elite. It's how I was raised. It's how I say how I was raised, but it's like how I perceive life. It's I guess you can derive it from my medical condition and like the way people perceive me and stuff, but it's like there's no one that's gonna be better than me in any other area. Like,
what do you mean?
Okay, so there's people that have better health than me. There are people that are like physically stronger than me, but like that is like the end of it. Like that is the bar. That is it. Like there's no one that executes as well as I do. There's no one that has the self-belief. Like when I'm in an activity, I make sure that once I decide to start doing that activity, that I have the mindset of someone that's in the top 50th percentile of that thing that's happening.
Okay, so you're saying whatever you're involved in, no one's going to be...
Wherever my hand can touch, it's like it had to be elite. It had to be the top. It had to be the best, no matter what. Like there's no like there wasn't a trying sheepishly. It was just that, and then it happened. Like yeah, it's like you look at something. It's like I can do that. It's like let me see if I can get examples. It's like let's start from like even selling sweets in school. It's like I was told to do it at first, obviously, but then I was like, okay, if I'm gonna do this, I'm gonna do it properly. So it's like that thing. That's me. And then like sports, it's like I wasn't great. I didn't care about football, but I cared about being good at like whatever sport that I cared about. So like I made sure that any sport that I cared about playing, like rounders, like rugby, like actually I really disliked rugby because the grass was disgusting and stuff, and I hate mud. But so yeah, like actually I said that nobody was gonna take me down. I was gonna be on the wing, and that's what I did. And basketball is like no one's gonna knock my shot down. So I'm gonna be able to shoot from deep. Like, and then it like just translated into work. Like, first seeing Sultan move a rig on an animation doll and stuff like that, I was like, I can do that. And then just doing it. And then what else after that? Like yeah, just like seeing everybody else be good, and it's like, I'm not gonna be the worst. I'm gonna be in the top of the class. And I was. And like but then came the problem that I tried to do two things at once at uni, which was like work and be the best at work, and also be the best at university, which is like where I started burning the candle at both ends. And like, I obviously got burned in the end, but at the same time, I knew where my limits were. So then in real life, when I'm engaging in like one practice where my money and my work is all coming from one direction, like I'm going to be able to achieve even more, but at the same time I do multiple things. So it's like okay, so I may be only dedicating 20% of time to like to production, let's say. But the fact that my 20% of time is different than everybody else's 20%, I'm gonna make my 20% more efficient, because what I learned is that when people are at work for 8 hours a day, they're not working to the best of their ability for those whole 8 hours. Like, they're not working at like the maximum capacity that they could possibly work. But I know I can. I know I will be doing that. And I'm very assured in that direction, where it's like I'm going to, like, if you're only working for let's say 4 hours, and I only have 4 hours a day to work on production, my 4 hours are going to be more efficient than everybody else's 4 hours. So then now you're spending 8 hours of your day being half as productive, where I'm spending 4 hours a day being the most productive on this thing. And then when I turn to my family, I'm 100% focused on that. And then when I turn to another facet, which is like writing, I'm going to be 100% focused on that. And like, because it's always focus, time management, and execution. So my focus is 100% zeroed in. And then I've like, so I know it's rare, in fact, that other people are going to be 100% focused. It's like, there's not a shadow of a doubt in my mind that people are focused for the whole 8 hours, because I've been there, I've seen it. I was always one of the most focused at work. But yeah, like, I'm so assured that now I've got like 4 hours here, or even 6 hours. So I'm doing 3 things every day for 6 hours. Those, like, that's maximizing my time being awake. Like, that's an exclusive skill saved for the top 1% of people. That's why I know I'm elite, because I know I can do that, and I don't play about. I don't take too long to do things, and within the time that I've used to do one thing, people will take many days out of their week to do. So yeah, like, but yeah, saying that out loud, I understand why people dislike me, but at the same time, like, that's your problem.
Yeah, but see, it's like, I think
it's not my problem that you're not maximizing your time.
Well, see, but that's what I'm talking about when I say, like, when people look up to people, or people are, it's like when you see people who do fitness or whatever, it's not necessarily the information you're buying, it's how they do it. It's what they implement into that thing. It's how, and I think all of that stems from the confidence to be able to put certain things together. And it's funny because when people see confidence raw, it's like people get triggered.
Yeah.
You know, and it's like there is a fine line between being arrogant. It's like generally in most social contexts, it's a fine line between coming across arrogant and coming across confident. You know what I mean? A lot of people would argue and say, like, oh, someone who's confident does what they do, executes, pulls it off, and doesn't ever say it out loud or make note of it or keeps it to themselves, you know.
I don't know anybody that's confident that does that.
But that's what I'm saying. It's like
there's literally nobody who's elite that does that. You can't even name me one person. Because
what
who's elite and does that? Kawhi, no. Kawhi's not even silent when he does that. He just doesn't have the celebration factor, and that's like part of being introverted. But like,
so what is he like when people ask him about his abilities then? Or like,
he doesn't speak.
He just doesn't speak.
He like,
because you said he.
I haven't really seen I haven't seen him like act reluctantly. Actually, to be fair,
I don't necessarily think
Pharrell. There's Pharrell that always.
Yeah,
says
but when he
that,
was younger, he was not. He was the opposite.
Sheepish. Yeah.
He was the opposite. He's only like that now, post. And you could have said the same for Kobe, even though if you spoke to him, he probably wouldn't.
Kobe
have
at
said
18 was a headhunter.
But that's what I'm saying. It's different when you're younger. But like, obviously, when you get older, that's when that settles in.
Yeah.
But it's like that's why it's a weird thing to say, because to find and understand your confidence, you have to express it.
There isn't a 20-year-old I know that is
would
like
do that. Yeah,
elite.
It's different when you're older. It's like once Pharrell released Happy, he was there like kind of crying from gratitude of, and he said the statement. I think it was the first interview he had like post it like being such a success. I think he got a Grammy for it, and he was saying, "It's in this moment that I realized that everything that has happened is not because of me at all. In a sense, I think he said that. He was like, it's everyone that ever gave me an opportunity, everyone that's ever helped me, everyone that's ever believed me. It's everyone else that has made what I've become a success. You know? So it's interesting because it's like that's once he must have just turned 40 then. How old is he now? I don't know. Maybe not. I think he might have been younger.
It's like 40 something. I think it's 44.
But that's what I mean. It's like he's almost going to be hitting 50. That's nuts. That's what I'm saying though. It's like once you hit a certain age and you've gone so far past your ability to perform. It's not even a question of whether or not you're good anymore. You haven't got to prove anything. You know what I mean? It's like when you're going through that stage of having to prove yourself, you have to be your biggest fan. That's kind of what I'm saying. It's like that's why people are so into like, you know what I mean, things like self-help or put these influencers on a pedestal, and they're like, oh, I just want to be like you. I want to be just like you, because it's not just what they're doing. It's the way that someone's doing it, and it's the confidence they've instilled in their craft. You know, because that's the only way you're going to be able to do it like that. Yeah, and that's why
when people want to be, if like I don't know, like if you want to be like an influencer, I don't think you're ever gonna be like them.
Well, that's the fun. That's the funny thing about it, and that's why it's like, it's kind of like,
because I learned not to put my standards on other people because nobody, like, no one's gonna be able to do that. Like my standards are like just ridiculously high, and if I like, and which is like one of the harder parts of like having a team. It's like you can't be late in my books, or like you can't be slow. Like there's a lot of things that's like when I'm working, there's a lot of things that I won't do, and like that's the part. That's what I'm talking about when I say focus. It's like people that are focused aren't slow, and people that are focused on their work execute. So, and people that actually want to perform execute very high. So yeah, like I've never seen it. But yeah, like let's get into the topics.
I was about to just say that, man. I beat me to it. That was a very sort of, I think it deserved that kind of conversation though. For the month that it's been, we needed to have a.
Yeah, man. I've achieved so much. I've got up to like almost 500 subscribers.
Damn, homie.
Yeah, fam. You know, a couple months.
That's content, baby.
Big ups, Fashion Archive and all of that stuff, and like
500
Fashion for Dummies.
That's hard in 3 weeks.
No.
How long?
It's like 2 months.
2 months. Oh.
Yeah.
Still, that's good.
Well, actually, I had like 40 subscribers, I think, at the beginning of the month, and like by
that's hard.
This time it's like 470, I think. But yeah, and I've just been dropping quality videos, quality reviews, and like quality articles. Like my standards haven't dropped and stuff, and like I'm just like the articles I've got coming up in Feb. Oh my gosh, fam, it's gonna be ridiculous. I just want like the conversations that I've got planned to go just as well. I just like, now that I know it can like something that, this is what I want to say before, it's like something that nobody was thinking of happening. Nobody was like, yeah, let's do this. Just came from me and said, okay, I want us to do this.
Yeah, you're gonna listen to this. That's interesting.
And then like we came together and it happened. And I was but yeah, what's the first thing?
Damn, I wanted to talk
even
about
though Russ is a good segue for that. What talk
Russ
about
is
what a
probably
bit more?
what you was just saying, but it doesn't matter. We can come back to it. I think we should lighten it up a little bit. We could segue straight into that actually. Let's talk about Russ.
You know what? Let's talk about we'll talk about music. Alright, like car.
Alright. Yeah.
J Hus is the #1 album in the UK. I just want to say that.
Wait, did he get number?
He got #1 fam.
Damn, I didn't even see that.
Check it.
Deserved, though, deserved. Well deserved.
Because look, God gracious me.
Man, I'm ruining the lighting setup. Give it a clap.
What? Car.
Yeah, big conspiracy.
Cause
Big conspiracy.
what I was saying like last week about the subpar pussy artist, fam.
Woy.
Like, I just want to double down on it. Because now, where we've got J Hus being the #1, like, now it's undeniable. Now it's like, yes, this has happened. Like, and now it's like, what do you have to say? Because
Yeah, but you know what everyone's going to say. They're going to be like, well, the charts doesn't define what's good music or not. Anyone can be. It's shit music that gets #1 all the time, you know?
Roddy Rich wasn't shit music.
Yeah, but
Roddy Rich was
people
so
would
quality,
argue
fam.
that.
I loved it. People
would
can't
argue
do that. And if you do, then you're rubbish. You know what tastemaker. I'm sorry. It's like I don't have
TikTok
the,
made that, got that to #1, didn't it?
I don't have the energy to address people that are speaking in that fashion anymore. Well, actually, I do. I have a lot of energy for that.
Wait,
but
is TikTok how the box blew up?
no,
Was it
it's Justin Bieber wanting his song to go to #1. That's how it blew up.
Oh, what? And everyone was like, get Roddy Rich to #1.
Not like, well, keep the box at #1, but Roddy Rich's album is like a different story, innit? Like, keeping an album at #1 is totally different than, like, you know what I mean? Like having but we're talking about J Hus right now.
Oh, J Hus? I thought you said Russ.
No.
Right. But J Hus.
Like J Hus, he got #1 album in the UK and stuff, and like, yeah, man, it wins. Like,
Yeah,
he
it
was
is a
up
wicked
against Coldplay and stuff.
Yeah.
Wait,
smash.
or something like that. Was it Coldplay or was it Maroon 5? One of them bands.
I think it was Coldplay because I don't think of Maroon 5. I know a new
Because
Coldplay.
what on earth were you people thinking? But yeah, fam. No, because obviously that band is really, really big and stuff. So, yeah. Like, they're bigger than J Hus, apparently. But, you know, considering he got #1 over them, it shows.
It's funny, isn't it?
It shows. Now, I'm backing myself, man, so much. Like, when I talk, well, I'm not saying I'm a tastemaker, but when I've made a prediction, I like fully because it's
I'm not
it's
saying
when
I'll
I,
take
it's like
anything out.
it's being able to address what is happening properly, and that was part of the address. It's like what he's done is great, and it was good, and like obviously like it shows in what people have said or where it is in the charts. Like the charts actually reflect what is good.
Yeah, what's the people listening to?
And like obviously, yeah, fam. I'm a J Hus fan now, or something like that.
What do you mean now?
Because like
He's been a J Hus fan.
he only had one album out,
Oh, okay.
and now he's got 2 albums out that are like, yes, they're bringing back quality. They're pushing the envelope. They're getting. He's just getting better, fam.
No, this was definitely a level up from his first album, 100%.
And like just the sound that he's pushing is even better than what it was the last time. And yeah, man, like there's everything about it just worked, and I'm for it. I'm for people getting their just dues in that way. But yeah, like, and talking about Russ's album, have you listened to it?
Do you know what? I heard a few songs, but I didn't get a chance to get through it. Unfortunately, I know I did say because I intended to listen to it. I put it in the chat, but I didn't get a chance.
Okay, yeah, Russ's album is really good as well.
Is it good?
Yeah.
I like the single.
Which
Nighttime was Nighttime.
Nighttime's the interlude.
Yeah.
But
But
Best
that
on
wasn't a
Earth
single.
is a single.
Oh yeah, it was. Yes.
Yeah.
I saw the music video for that.
Best on Earth, like I said, Best on Earth is also a great song, and regardless of what
He's getting
anybody
in
else
his
on the
proper
podcast said,
pop singing bag, isn't he?
whatever anybody else on the podcast said, Best on Earth is
Anyone else on the podcast?
yes. Wait, you don't remember the conversation
No, I don't remember.
we had here
What and where I said I didn't like it?
when I said Best on Earth is a smash, and like Anton was like, "No, it's not," and like nobody else has heard it.
Oh, okay.
I was like, that doesn't mean that the song isn't a smash. It just means you haven't heard it.
Yeah. What he said, he hadn't heard it. Yeah.
Yeah.
The funny thing is, I haven't really liked a lot of his sort of. Because I heard Best Enough. I don't personally really like it, but
You don't like it.
I don't like it. But saying that, like,
What type
he
of
knows-
music
he
do
kno-
you like?
he
fam?
knows how to make. He knows how to make, like, what's sick is he clearly knows how to make a pop tune.
He knows
know.
how to make good music.
Yeah.
That's a smash.
What
What don't you like about it?
don't know, just didn't hit like
Get
didn't jive with me.
controversial.
Didn't jive with me. I just think it was just a bit too. Yeah, I don't know.
It's just a bit too what?
A bit too corny for me. It was just like, like it's not that he's a pop artist and that's natural. Like I haven't got anything against Russ, just not my tune. I've got tunes of Russ's that I do like.
You got Russ all the way fucked up, fam.
What do you mean?
You didn't Wait, what type of music do you like, fam? I don't even understand you, fam. You don't like rap. You don't like pop.
I didn't say I don't like rap, but
You did say
I
you
like
don't
specific.
like rap.
No, that's not what I said. I said I
you
don't
don't
listen.
You said
to
you're
rap.
not even a fan of. You said you're
Yeah,
not
I
a fan
don't
of
listen
rap.
to it. That doesn't mean I don't like it. You could, like there's a scale. It's not even it's not yes or no. It's just like I listen, like Mick Jenkins is one of my favorite artists. But that's like for me it's just it's like the way I see music is I see it as like characters in a story, and the way that they do it might just appeal to me, not necessarily because they've got the best music or because they're within the mainstream or they've got a certain kind of hits or just because of what they're doing for a culture per se. Sometimes it's their personal stories. Like I appreciate Russ as an artist and actually do like a few of his songs, but I wouldn't ever say I'm a fan. And
Do you relate to Mick Jenkins? Because his story isn't like your story.
No, but his sound, like it's like, it's introverted, but it's also still quite braggadocious, and it's like, it's a perfect blend of like, sort of, like, cool, but also a bit,
That's a
yeah,
perfect
cool.
blend.
Cool. Well, just for me, it's not, like the way I look at music, I don't necessarily look at in the spectrum of, not necessarily, not all the time. With certain songs, like when I listen to people like J Hus, It's like I would say I'm a fan of J Hus. Like I like most of J Hus's music I like. But it's like when you listen to an album, it's like you're not gonna like every single song in the album. I'm not expecting to like every single song an artist makes, and I can't like lie about that. If I'm listening to a song, I'm not just gonna like that song because I like that person. I tend to like a certain amount of songs on someone's album, and depending on many factors, the overall feel, how much I liked certain songs. Look, I've loved albums that I've only liked 2 songs from the album on, but those 2 songs I liked so much. For me, the album was good. You know what I mean? Sir's a perfect example. I preferred his previous album, but this album had 2 songs that I fucked with hard. Like I was just like, yeah, sick. So in my head, this was a sick album, even though I only liked 2 of the songs. But Sir's someone who I like as an artist as well. Like he's an example of someone who I'm actual Sir fan. Like when I hear him sing, like and just the kind of vibe he generally has, yeah, I fuck with Sir.
Our skills are massively different, fam.
What do you mean?
Like I don't know, like. Wait, why do you fuck with Sir? Why do you fuck with Sir?
What you're saying is like, it's because music is subjective, man. What you like is different from what I like. It's not to say whether or not it's good. That's not the question. This isn't a question about whether or not Russ is good. That's not the question here. This is not what we're discussing. You asked me, what music do you like? Like, what I like isn't based on the consensus or what is cool right now, or necessarily
Russ
what's
isn't
great
cool.
for the cool. To some people,
Russ
he
has
is.
never. No, Russ
No,
has never.
But
been
my
cool.
point, my point
It's not
is,
cool to like
okay,
Russ.
Whatever. That's
It's
not
not
my
cool.
point. It's not just Russ we're talking about. Though,
No,
is
but
it?
you're saying
but
you're
it's
saying
not just
on
Russ
the
we're talking about. When we're saying,
we're speaking about Russ.
okay, that's fine. We can speak just
The
about
consensus.
Russ. But no, because the question you asked me is what music do you like?
Yours is not based on a consensus. That was a bit sassy, fam.
No,
because Russ isn't cool to any. Like,
that's fine.
in
That's
the
fine.
Consensus.
But my point is, yeah. When you ask me I'm confused. What music do you like? I'm explaining.
Yeah.
Because you said, what is your framework? You even just asked me,
Yeah.
wait, what is the scale? And I'm explaining I'm explaining what the scale is
But
not.
I didn't hear anything when you said that. When you said you see stories in the things and
I see stories in the things. Yeah, no, because I look at certain individuals. I don't even necessarily like the last time I've been like, oh, I'm heavy into a scene. Like or something was when I was listening to electronic music, just heavy. Like I was sort of that sort of 2010 future garage sort of streaming off into SoundCloud selection days. That was the last time I was really in sort of like a sound of music, right? Like since then, I'm listening to a lot more. It's a lot more disparate than it usually was. So for 1 minute, I'm listening to something like Mick Jenkins, and then if we go to my Spotify. We'll see what my Spotify's saying.
because I think we both know.
Because it's funny, because like, remember when we had conversations about Party Next Door? You used to be like, Party Next Door. I remember, I'm pretty sure you sent me that album. Yeah, I can't remember. I think it was before P3. I can't remember what album you sent me, and I was like, oh, that's alright. Like, I was like, and I've just listened to P3, and I've been bumping that. You know what I mean? Like only just now, and I put my hands up and I say, "Yo, I was wrong. I fucked up in that area." I put my hands up. Like,
here's the thing. Like I didn't start out liking Russ, but it's the thing. Like I can't question great music. Like my scale is about greatness and character.
Yeah.
And my association to like understanding what greatness and character
Okay,
is.
well then let me ask you, why is his music great?
Why is his music great?
Yeah.
Because it has a sound and a message, and as the years have gone on,
So you're talking about the message of the music.
The sounds and the messaging have evolved. He's actually got better since you first showed me him 4 years ago or 5 years ago, whatever 100. That was.
Yeah, 100. I'm not arguing with that.
So
that's not what I argued.
I like seeing a progression, and I like seeing achievement, and the thing is, I didn't know whether Russ was popular or not. Like Russ didn't need, an artist doesn't need to be popular to everybody.
I'll admit he's not. Yeah,
but
I'll admit that. I can put my hands up and say
he's, Yeah, he's part of the most. He's one of the most hated brands in music that we have today.
Yeah.
And like,
that's what the conversation was interesting.
That's just like one of the more funnier things
but
about
no,
it.
stick to what we're saying. What? Because what was wrong with what I said when I said I didn't like his music, or not that I didn't like his music, that I didn't like that song.
I just don't understand it.
That I don't like that song.
I don't understand it. I don't understand.
Well, you don't like every song that you hear, you know. And it's funny because
I'll tell you why.
Let
me ask you a question.
A lot of the time when I listen to music, listen to the music, I focus quite heavily on the sonics. You get what I'm saying? Like I dip into the lyrics, and certain lyrics will hit me sometimes, but lot of the time
wasn't about the lyrics though.
Huh?
Best on Earth wasn't about the lyrics. It was about the vibe.
It was about the vibe, yeah. And but vibe is contextual, and that's why you can't say, oh, I don't get why you don't like it. Because
you just see how you switched the argument mid-sentence.
Huh?
Because you said you don't listen to lyrics, you dip into the sonics.
No, because that's
so
explaining.
Okay, so how do you know?
No, because I'll tell you why. No, I didn't flip the conversation. I'll tell you why I didn't flip the conversation. I'll tell you why. Because you said, I asked you why it's great music, and actually one of the first things you said was the message.
No, I said
you said
what my scale is.
Yeah,
that's what my scale is. And
but isn't that the lyrics? Because the message, because you can't just say it's the vibe. The lyrics are. If you're saying that as one of the,
and I said,
but when you say the character is in as him as a person,
no, I like
him as the song,
him as a person. Yes, like, and and the question is, when you listen to a song or when you first listened to that song, did you know it was a smash?
Wasn't the first thing that came to my head, but not because I would say, oh, that's not a smash, but I just it didn't hook me enough for me to want to listen to more.
No. I'm asking if, like, so when a song is a smash, because that song is a smash, which is why I'm asking, is like, can you tell? Can you tell when a song is it? Because that's the important part. Because I'm asking you as someone that produces music, like, how do you, like, if you didn't know that song was if you couldn't at least understand when you first heard it that song was a smash, then we have other questions. Because like, wait, did I show you Best on Earth? It's
not the first thing that came to my head. No, I wouldn't have listened to it and go, oh, this is a hit, because so you're telling me, like, as soon, because when this came into your head, was this after 3 listens? Was this as soon as you press play? Was this like immediate, instant?
It was as soon as I heard the bed squeak. I knew what he was trying to do.
I'm not talking about the box. I'm talking about Russ, Best on Earth.
I said bed squeak. There's a bed squeak in Best on Earth.
Oh, is there? Oh, okay.
As soon as I heard that.
Wait, is this the same song that I'm even thinking of?
Yeah, it is.
Is it the one with the music video where he's on the stage?
Yeah. No, wait, music video on the stage.
Yeah, it's a different song. I'm thinking of a different song.
Like the way she work, yeah. Always puts me first, yeah. And I know when I've been in a drunk, got the best on earth, yeah. I like dropping the floor and getting nasty, like put hands all on my ass cheeks. That's the song with B.O. fam.
I want to play it, but we don't.
Yes. So,
B.O.
Best on Earth is a smash.
Yeah. No, fair.
Like, so yeah, when you hear a song, can you tell it's a smash? That is my question.
Yes, I feel like I can, but I don't necessarily listen to. I listen to music that I like, because I feel like when you're listening to tunes, you're listening for, okay, is this a smash? Yes, no. It's like sometimes a song that is a smash isn't necessarily a song I like. I don't like songs just because they're smashes.
I didn't ask any of that. I said, can you tell?
And I said, yes, I think I can. But I don't.
But when we're talking about Best on Earth, you couldn't tell. So in which time period? Because that's between now.
Oh, I thought it was a different song. I thought it was the one that I was talking about. Yeah,
I've showed you that song before.
But what did I say when we just had this conversation? Is it the one where it's on the music video where she's sick? And you said no, it's not. So I was like, okay, that's a different song.
Nah, fam. I know you've heard Best on Earth before, but I'll accept that. I know you have.
I probably have.
You can't not have heard that tune.
I probably have, but
on a stage from this album, show me the song that he's on the stage, fam. Because unless like that's from years ago, because
I love how you don't trust what I'm saying when I know exactly what I'm talking about.
What's this? Civil War?
Russ. I can't remember what song.
Nighttime.
Russ. It's a new one. It is. It's. No, it wasn't the Nighttime music video. It was. I watched it the other day.
You couldn't even trust your own mind, mate.
Relax yourself, bro. Listen to
about,
this guy,
forget
yeah?
about,
See?
forget
Now
about
this is when the
me.
confidence becomes a bit too much, bro.
No, it's not about confidence becoming too much. It's about, okay, you said something.
Wait, what is it?
I want to be able to trust what you're saying. And if you can't trust what you're saying, come on, mate. I want let's back it up.
Right, where is it? Diggy. Was it All to You?
What? Nighttime
music video. I want to find what the music video is. It's so annoying. Do you know it's the one where he's got the black girl as the like as the love interest, and he's all like on the stage and he's singing to her? No?
from this album?
Yeah, I'm sure it was because they were speaking about it on
On where?
It might have been an old one. It actually might have been an old one. Maybe I'm going crazy, but I was watching it like it's new. Where is it? Was it it wasn't the nighttime one. I don't know, but when I find it, I'll send it to you. But that's what I thought it was.
No.
Because I heard that recently. I hadn't listened to Best on Earth, and the time you showed me it was probably ages ago. Like, when did you show me that? Must have been last year. Because I haven't listened. The only Russ songs I've actually heard or tried to listen to is Nighttime. Most other times, you remember before, you used to dog me for going, "You're a Russ fan, man. Why do you like Russ?"
I didn't dog you for liking Russ.
Actually, to be fair, you did say.
I said that
he's good.
He's a white guy in a forest. I remember that video. And then like he had a gang of black people behind him. I was like, this video was a bit weird. But yeah, I remember that, like, because that's my first experience with Russ. And you wasn't a Russ fan.
No, I wasn't. But you
exactly.
used to say you was talking like I was though.
No,
he was like,
that didn't happen.
Why are you always like fans of these white guys or something
yeah,
like that?
You are always fans
but
of
that
these
is
white.
that is a presumption.
But that wasn't of Russ. That was when you showed me that meme guy. When you showed me,
you spoke about Russ.
When you showed me that meme guy, because Russ is also another white guy. Like, you showed me that meme guy that had that song on the train, and I was like, what the fuck are these niggas showing me?
He wasn't white. He actually wasn't white. He was mixed race. But I digress.
Okay, white passing. But like, I was like, why are you showing me this weird ass guy, fam? And then like, I was like, what type of music? And then in my head I was like, what type of music are you man into, bro?
It was a meme.
Like, and
see me bump this guy.
That's when I stopped. You don't even listen to music around me. I can't even answer that question. Whenever you show me music is of like weirdos.
Is it?
It is. You listen to a lot of weirdo stuff, fam. I'm not even gonna, like, if we're gonna have to me onto Mick Jenkins.
No, but his new album. When I said
you put me onto Mick Jenkins.
Don't get extra with
you
that
showed
statement.
me what
don't get
you
extra
showed
with that
me
statement.
Mick Jenkins. What are you actually trying to say?
No, because now you're just performing, right?
I'm not performing.
Hold up.
You keep trying to make a point.
No,
where, like,
listen to what I said, because you're not.
You know what?
Yeah,
you're just as funny as Andrew Schulz, fam. You like try to twist the dial until like you sound right in an opinion, because that's how we've got to here. You've been twisting
No,
until you
instead,
sound a
what
bit
you
right.
Do is you take it for face value instead of trying to.
I take it for
instead of going asking,
Is
wait,
that
what do
not
you mean
how
by
you
that?
listen?
Instead of going, what do you mean by that? Because whenever you say something, do I not go, wait, what do you mean by that? Hold up, what do you mean?
What do you mean? What do I mean?
Because when I was saying that, I didn't put you onto Mick Jenkins. Last time I
When
sent
was
you
the
music,
last
you
time?
said, hold up, because what you said was, whenever I send you music, it's of weirdos. But the last thing I sent you was, other than, if we look through the chat, there was probably something I sent you just more recently than that. But I sent you I said, oh, Mick Jenkins album.
No.
Mick Jenkins album. Oh, yeah, these guys. Yeah, exactly.
The small...
Choker and...
Yeah, you've got better recently.
You got better recently.
That's
literally one time that you can say where I showed you the guy that was on the train. Other than that, tell me what other weirdo guy then. Tell me what other
Russ
weirdo.
was a weirdo guy when I first looked at him. I'm not gonna lie and say that I
song
didn't
blew
like.
up. It was that song. That was his first. That was the first song that got him noticed.
I'm not gonna lie.
So
like,
you can't say
Russ,
he's a weirdo guy.
It was a weirdo guy.
What do you mean?
Russ was a weirdo guy.
Well, he was independent.
He was a white guy in a forest.
That's not a weirdo. Oh my. Because he's in a forest. It's a music video.
Yeah.
His music wasn't weirdo music.
When Travis Scott. Like when you have a weirdo music video and like it doesn't make sense. Like what was he speaking about in that video? No, there's a robbery happening in the video and stuff like that. It's like, what the hell, bro? What are you trying to do? I'd be extra with their music videos, but like I said,
I think that's weird though, because I don't think that's
guys.
necessarily just being extra. I think because when there's a music video, I think a lot of the time as well, the artists don't necessarily have as much input in the music video necessarily as.
No, Russ has input though in his music videos. When no money, it is always all your idea.
We'll see that.
And then when
that's what
when
I'm
you
saying.
have weirdos in the forest.
I'm trying to look at what other music I sent you. The one guy I can completely agree with you is that guy on the train because it was a meme. But again, it was a meme.
Wait, no, not Chippy Chippy, the other one. YKWS or something.
Oh, what the?
It's a smash.
But it's annoying. I don't like it.
It's a smash.
That's a song I don't like.
When I show you meme music. I show you people moving the dial.
Yeah, but what?
I show you people
but there's so many
go. Uzi blew up. Who else? Migos blew up. That summer when I showed you those three guys. They were out of here, and you couldn't say anything. But by the summer, what does my ear say versus what your ear? Actually, not even versus what your ear says. So what does that say?
I don't know.
Exactly. No, you can pretend, but
the music, like or music that. Wait. No,
stop it, fam.
Let me just say what I'm going to say.
I like listening to a lot of popular music.
Yeah, that's what you. And I don't mean like it's like music that a lot of people listen to necessarily at that time, but you look for like how is this like is this music that's gonna be popular one day? You know what I mean? Or are these artists that are going to be making hits one day? Like, that's what you're listening for and you're looking for. You know? It's not necessarily like, oh, how are these guys...
It's not necessarily what?
It's not necessarily like, oh, what are these guys doing interesting musically? It's not necessarily what you're looking for. You're looking for, is this a hit?
Don't insult me.
No, but when it comes to...
What are they doing interesting musically? Lil Yachty was doing something totally off the cuff.
Yeah.
It was experimental. It was different. Then they wasn't all smashes. At the same time,
I don't know.
it was interesting musically.
Yeah.
Lil Uzi was interesting musically.
My point is, music is subjective.
What?
Music
No,
is subjective.
and like, what did we say last week? Yeah, we can say that, but at the same time, what is it? Because when you're telling me that I only listen to popular music or music that's gonna be popular and it's not necessarily someone pushing a sound, when that sound wasn't in when I showed it to you.
That's not what I
That
said.
sound was not in. People were like, what is this mumble rappers? Like all of this
Migos,
stuff.
I can say.
So I was not in the popular vote.
No, Migos. That's
Nothing
different. Migos is
I
different.
like
Migos
first
is a different.
is popular.
Like Check West.
Check West.
He wasn't really.
Did he blow up?
He did
that song blow up?
Yeah.
Did the
it did,
first
but
song blow up?
That's not
Did the
necessarily
second song
him.
blow up?
That's not him pushing a particular sound. It's just
What?
It's
He's
Check West.
he's
It's not.
totally
It's not
different.
necessarily
It's
like
totally different.
Well, he's unique as himself, but he's not.
And
he's not
our
necessarily-
Migos unique to themselves.
Yeah, but Migos is a different story.
And was Lil Uzi unique to himself?
They actually influenced the sound.
And was Lil
I guess Lil
Yachty
Yachty could say.
like to himself?
Are you still a Lil Yachty fan?
No, because he's trying to sound like the Migos because he wants to get play in clubs and all of that stuff. It really irritated me like a year ago and stuff like that when he came out with his last project. It was really sad. Like when he came out with Lil Boat too, man. I liked what he was doing, but obviously like when you're not with Burberry Perry anymore and like that's the person you cultivate the sound of him, like what can you do? Like they're not cool no more. The producer that like he was working with.
I heard about that.
Yeah, like it's just a different thing, innit? But that's just a different story. But when we're talking about Lil Boat 1, like that story there.
But
when
see,
we're
he's
talking
someone
about,
who I'm still like, oh, I don't know.
you can be like, don't know, but at the same time, what is he to the culture?
Yeah. No.
Does he make sense? Is he doing something? Are all the people that I've showed you doing something?
Yeah. No.
Okay
I
then.
can't fight that.
Yeah, man.
I can't argue with that. But no, the question is because you questioned me about what kind of music do you even listen to? Like your
and then can you understand the smash when you hear it? Because that is like after they're interested musically, it's like this is the next wave. So when I say stuff about UK and showing people what is the UK culture like, watch in the next couple of years what the music is gonna feel like, is what I've been saying. What have I been saying about live instrumentation 2-3 years ago in 2017? What was I saying about that and what is now?
Mm-hmm.
Exactly.
Well, I actually can't remember that conversation.
When I was telling,
I didn't say that you said this.
Okay, wait. When I was saying listen to disco and I was like I didn't listen to funk and all of this stuff and like listen to all of the jazz back in the day and stuff like that.
Yeah.
I like just hear how refreshing notes are and like everybody was like, what does he even know? But then 2 years down the line, 3 years down the line, everybody's and I'm not saying that I should be right all the time, but I don't think anybody can now say that I don't know what I'm talking about when it comes to music. That's at least what people like. Like whether you want to listen to it or not, it's perfectly up to somebody else. But treating me like I only listen to popular music.
No, that's not. But
I don't understand what all of this stuff is.
See, now you're saying about twisting it. You're literally putting words in my mouth. I didn't say you didn't understand.
We can run back the tape.
You're saying I said you didn't understand.
What?
Because that's what came out of your mouth just then. You said and saying I don't understand.
Where the sound is going.
That's not what I said.
When you said I'm not really listening to where the sound is going.
No, that's not what I said. I said you're not necessarily looking for. You're not necessarily listening for people who are doing interesting things with music. I'll admit
That was a wrong statement.
That was wrong.
Okay.
But because when you look at it, you can look at Lil Yachty and you can say, okay, fair enough.
You can look at all
even though it was shit, he, you know, I mean, it was an interesting sound. It was something that caught people's attention. But that's what
Minnesota was a hit, fam. Like, and that's the end of that. Like,
yeah, but this is what I'm saying. Doesn't necessarily good music is just because it's a hit. Does it make it good music?
Have I said that before? Have we not had this conversation about when it comes to meme music and like when I said that it's not really music, but then I recanted and it's like, yeah, it is really music, but it's not music when it comes to like when we're looking at J Hus versus. But at the same time,
but you still call it good music.
It's different musically, and the fact that it's different musically, and not everything that's different musically is a smash. Yeah. However,
because the
ones that I've looked at and I've pointed at and be like,
remember, I actually fought for Shekwest because you said, hold up, I fought for that Shekwest because you said this isn't music, bro, and I said, wait a minute, it's music, it's still music. I didn't say I liked it. I fought for it to at least say, okay, you called it not music. And I
called it meme music, and I said meme music.
No, before you called it meme music, this was like a couple weeks afterwards. You actually a couple weeks.
It was the day that you left.
Was it the day? Oh, actually,
it was the day that you left.
To be fair,
I was like, yeah, do you know what? Forget.
But before that, you did fully say, nah, this ain't music.
Yeah, like a couple hours before.
And I fought for that, so it's not.
You didn't fight for it.
I did. I was like, well, I said it's still music, but it's just a different way of making music. And I agree with that, but that does, you know what I mean? I don't know.
Yeah, so back to the conversation of like a smash or like things that are going to be where the culture is, because like I said, I'm speaking to you as a producer and needing to understand these things. What are you listening for, or what are you choosing to make? Like, are you trying to add to music?
Yeah, but I think what I'm trying to do is like ideally. Oh, it's weird because for me, I've always made music that I'll admit I've been quite selfish in the way that I make music. In that I try and emulate the sounds that appeal to me most, and not necessarily music that's just out there. I do dig into a bit of jazz. I dig into a funk, old R&B, and I try and like unwrap those a little bit, and like with the chords and stuff like that. But my approach is, or the way I think about an ideal scenario for me is sort of helping bring out the best, using my skills in production to bring out the best that I can within the artists that I work with, you know. But
what is like if you know? So that's saying that you're leading the artist. So where are you leading the artist?
Well, I'd say I'm more discovering what is their. I like the idea of discovering what their true voice is. So whatever music speaks most to them or is most true to them is what is the best music that they're going to make, you know? Like that's where the heart of what their music is, because within that you've got everything. You've got the message, you've got the authenticity, you've got the most natural and authentic energy that they can pull out and put into their music. I think, regardless of what anyone else might think about it, that is what I could say, you know, well, and I guess in a way I'm kind of contradicting myself, because you could say the same thing about Lil Yachty, is that was his most authentic self, that's his most authentic music. But that's what I'd say is what I'd like to try and do when I work with an artist. I want to help sort of pull the best that I can, their most authentic self out of them, which isn't necessarily coinciding with what the sound is at the time, or you know, or what is.
Is it not?
Well, yeah, it's going to be. It's going to be.
It's going to be outside of the sound.
No, true. But I guess it depends what you're making.
It's gonna be. I guess it depends who you're working with and what. I'm not gonna work with like a metal singer necessarily. Who knows? You know what I'm saying? Like, but it's like it's interesting. It's interesting because whenever I'm making music or I'm like listening to music, like I'm looking for something that just speaks to me as opposed to what does this, like, how is this adding? Like, I'm not like, oh, what is this adding to music? I'm kind of like, what in I'm feeling for a certain groove and feeling combined with like how I'm looking for like a groove and feeling and how coherent their story is or how cohesive that is with their story or whatever they're telling or them as an artist, you know? Like I look for artists. I look for as them artists and with them as artists, how much have I connected with their sound, resonated, and not necessarily with their story, like, oh, I see myself in their story, but I think, well, yeah, I see myself in their story, but not necessarily because, oh, we've lived the same lives, but I can see my story and their story, or, you know, it's like you relate to it in a different way, not necessarily just because, oh, they've lived the life that I've led, but it's like you can put yourself in that story because of how they've told it and how well they've told it. And it's like when you're watching a film, you know, you might not have lived that life in that film, but because of how the story was told and how it was depicted, you can put yourself in that world, you know? Like, that's what I like about music. Like, that's for me what good music is, if I can get immersed in it and it's got a sound that hits me. I look for that feeling like, oh, yep, this is and the reason why when you say, oh, can you hear when something's a hit, I think about how it makes me feel first before I even think, oh, this could be a hit. It was like with the Roddy Ricch tune, for example. I listened to it and I was just like, oh, okay, I like this. And then after a little while, I was bumping it so much, and I was like, it's funny, even with that.
I think I showed you Roddy Ricch, to be fair.
Well, I don't know. I was just like, oh, I listened to this song. It's I like this tune. Like, that's what I think about whenever anyone shows me music. It's that because they like it, not necessarily because it's like, yo, watch, this is going to be a smash. But I guess that's what my question is like, what you're saying is, you like music that you know is going to be a smash.
No, that's not. No, because you know I listen to jazz 90% of the time.
That's what I'm saying. Like,
you know I don't even listen to rap most of my days. You know that as a fact. I literally listen to jazz. I listen to all the old school tunes.
Oh yeah, no, it's not that I haven't heard you listen to jazz, but most of the time I hear you listening to rap.
Takuya Kadura.
Yeah,
like,
no, it's not that. I know that you do listen to jazz.
I care about live instrumentation, but when it comes to knowing what the soundscape is of the year, and then like where it's going, I just have a natural inclination to care about that type of stuff. Like, because at the end of the day, music needs to be profitable.
Yeah, no, don't get me wrong. I'm getting more inclined in that way, but I'm still quite selfish in the way I listen to music. I'll put my hands up and admit that. The way I listen to music is very much like, how do I feel about this? And it's like, if I can't, and with more popular tunes and tunes that are going to be hits, for example, like, I'm not necessarily...
Yeah, you need to find a way to like them tunes because they're important.
Yeah, no, I agree.
I just find it interesting. It's important to understand what that feeling is. Where because that feeling that you reject is the feeling that everybody loves.
Well, that's the funny thing, isn't it? It's like, and this is the dichotomy in a way. It's like, And this is a thing I've always... What I think about is like, how can you make music that's musically interesting but still at the forefront of culture? And when I say musically interesting, hold up. No, relax. But like, let me explain that. Like that, for lack of a better term, I said it in the way I did. But it's not that the music that's out now isn't interesting. That's not what I'm saying. But I should have said. But even complexity doesn't do it justice. I've been literally, the type of conversation we've been having is that when I showed you J House, or when I say listen to Big Conspiracy, and when we were speaking about the sounds, when we talk about Hoodies All Summer, that is me. And then the conversations we've had in your kitchen and stuff like that with Anton and Ali, and then I'm talking about how you put that pain in there and you tell the story and you bring it out. 100%. Like everything. J House is probably doing it the closest to doing that. 100%. Like, especially part of the reason I don't listen to Stormzy as well. Yeah, that's fair. The thing is though, Kano's album didn't get number one. Didn't have any it had tunes that could be smashes. One, Kano doesn't need a number one, and two, Kano's culturally defining, and the album was as well. That's what I'm saying. It's like To Pimp a Butterfly. It's like there's just different things that you're going after, but at the same time, it's a different kind of album. I didn't ask for a smash on the album, and I didn't care whether I got one or not. But at the same time, P's and Q's still exists, Garage Skank still exists, so you know he can do it. But what we were asking for was him to be one of the forefathers and act like the elder statesman, and that's what he did. Yeah, and that's why we listened, and that's why I cared, and that's why I share it, because it's not so that everybody can be like, we're gonna bump it in the club and stuff like that. But see, that's what I'm saying, and I think that you see what you just said. Whenever I hear certain songs, that's the first feeling I get or I think about, and I'm not necessarily saying that's right. There's certain songs and certain artists. It'd be hard to do it off dome. But there's certain songs where they're pop tunes, and I fuck with them just because of the just how it's put together, and you know, like, it's hard because I think with a lot of pop tunes, it's like Migos. You can't necessarily say the message is the strongest thing. It's the vibe overall. There's parts about it that are stronger that make it a hit, that make it more palpable, and make it more sort of piercing to a sound and a vibe. It's like there's so many factors, but there's some people who are able to still make top tunes and hits. It's funny because I think, for example, with something like Russ, and I think the way he talks is very important, like, and who he is plays such a big part into his music, because even though you'll have songs where, okay, for example, the lyrics aren't particularly deep, he's not necessarily going in and talking specifically and directly to issues within the culture, and he's generally makes positive music. It's not necessarily about what he's saying in the music, it's the long game, it's the overarching thing of how everything he's putting out and he's releasing adds to the message of what he does. You get what I'm saying? It's not like per tune. It's like you're not necessarily going to listen to a Rush tune and think, oh damn, like deep, like for example, that compared to something like Kano, Hoodies All Summer. Like, I can't see Russ necessarily making an album like that. You get what I'm saying? Like, J Hus is someone I could see doing that more so in the future. Like, J Hus stand up with Big Conspiracy we're talking about. Yeah, but I'm talking about even more so, because even though they're quite similar, J Hus. But the reason you dislike Deeper Than Rap is exactly what you're talking about. Huh? Because you said when people switch up. No, I didn't say I didn't dislike it. I didn't. It's not that I didn't dislike it. It's just like, because for me, I don't see it as like because it's like, again, you go, oh, the reason you disliked it, but it's not about disliking it for me. It's like, I see it as like a scale. It's like a dial. You know, it's like I look at the whole project and I go, oh, okay. Well, I didn't appreciate it as much. As a song, it's a good song. As a song, it's a good song, but it's more the cohesiveness of an album. When I look at that, it's like I see it at the table, like I gave that as an example. You know, it's like where it as an album, the songs were played in a way where there was just an essence of cohesiveness. And when I go, oh, that's a great album, like that's what when it resonates with me onto that level, I'll look at an album like that and go, yeah, you know, like that was lit. Because even the critique I gave of it, that was the only critique I could give, really. They just feel a little bit of lack of. I wouldn't even say it necessarily lacked cohesiveness, because everything about it and the sound was so strong. But it's just like that's the tiniest. Because you asked me if you could give it a critique, what critique could you give it to? And I was like, if I really, really, really tried. And I did say this, if I really, really had to give it a critique.
Yeah, because I was saying, because
that's the only thing.
you were
Other
trying to
than that,
back
I wouldn't.
people saying that.
No, I was giving the plain
that
devil's advocate.
Subpar,
Wow.
and I said the devil
Don't
doesn't
need an advocate.
Yeah. I think that's a good place to end the podcast. This has been the Culture and Camaraderie podcast.
With your host.
Was provoking. Industrious discussion. I've been nytypical.net. Wait, I'm nytypical of nytypical.net. Damadich himself. This is Suede House.
Teacher.
That is Lax Error. Peace.
Hold tight.
On to you.